truckers on the road, where the hell they learn to drive. Jive turkeys at my job, about to get a cool, cold, mean five. Should've took the day off, might slap my boss. My own damn kids pissing me off, as if I hadn't had enough. Chipotle fucked my goddamn order up. I'm fed up, I'm fed up, I'm fed up. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bartender, don't you see me waving you down? This guy came after me, I was here first, but you serving him rounds. No, I bought the Uber here, my friends expecting me to buy it back. Tomorrow morning, I better get a cash app, or every last one of you motherfuckers getting slapped. Bet that. Whoa, I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Woke up this morning with these thoughts in my head. The world would be better off if I just stayed my ass in bed. Whoa, I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bitch, I pop out the pussy of pimp, bottle of Henny and a Detroit limp. Bitch, I pop out the pussy of pimp, bottle of Henny and a Detroit limp. Whoa, 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 whoa. Gaslighting hoes since '62. I've been
All right, all right. Welcome in, gentlemen. This is part two of the live I did yesterday. I had to cut it short. I ran out of time trying to get through all the uh clips. Had too many clips. I can only get to the two. But the one thing I wanted to talk about today was getting to the one part of the show where I wanted to talk to guys about this article that we all missed and give my thoughts on. I'm gonna read out this article. Let me get this up here on the screen. Let's see here. I'm wondering why my avatar is not. All right. Hang on. Not giving me the ability to fix it. All right, cool. All right, so let me jump over here to my screen, shared screen real quick. So this is the article I tried to show towards the end of my live stream, but we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna give my thoughts on it, and we'll see how this goes. All right, projector up here, whiteboard, minimize this. Closing stuff in the background. Sorry, it's kind of a pop up live. I wasn't gonna do it this damn early, but I feel the need to, man. It kind of weighed on my mind a bit of the hypocrisy that's going on with this USAID thing, right? Matter of fact, let me make sure my whiteboard is running. Come on. Nope. I guess I got to do it with mouse. All right. Anyway, moving on. So this is the article. This came out in August of last year, August 23rd to be exact. And there was already hints of government cuts and Elon being able to come in and do things when they were on the campaign trail and really draining the swamp like they said they were going to do. They didn't get to do it during the first term, but now we're starting to see it happen in full effect. And it is glorious. All right. So here we go. Title of this article is this on Bloomberg. USAID records detail child sex crimes, labor abuse, and social media threats. Fair use for any clips that I'm going to show later. All right, damning internal reports obtained via FOIA show USAID probed allegations of bribery, child labor, sexual abuse of children at humanitarian organizations and funds, as well as social media threats posted from its own employees. Wow. What a way to start off our article. And then you got this picture of Samantha Power, administrator of USAID. What bugs me about this, right, is everyone in leadership is trying to shy away from responsibility. If you're in charge of something, just like they in the army, it doesn't matter. It's your fault. It's your fault. Scroll down. Let's see, where does it start here? It can be daunting to keep track of USAID's projects. We've seen about 55,000 projects. And it funds a ton of humanitarian work around the world, since it's gaining access to clean water in Indonesia, building schools in Pakistan. It has a global staff of more than 10,000, operates more than 100 countries, and works for 4,000 different firms. Perhaps not surprising that then USAID has faced its fair share of scandals over the years. It's also often accused by foreign governments of being a front for the CIA. You'll definitely want to read to the end. Okay. Judging based on what they've said so far, judging about what they said so far, this part is probably true. Hang on, me. That part is probably true. You had the Iran Contra, you had the other Contra programs. You had them bringing crack into the black community. So this is not too far fetched. And a lot of people ignore those things as simple conspiracies, but we know it to be fact, especially in the with the the released top secret documents in the last couple of years. But the statute of limitations of holding these people accountable has long since passed. So that's why we probably won't see anything done about them flooding the communities with crack cocaine and other drugs and illicit substances. All right. In February, she filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the agency's internal watchdog, the officer of the inspector general. That individual got fired. So there's that. A couple months after she filed the request, the inspector general, FOIA office, that's Freedom of Information Act office, did something uncommon compared with other federal agency release documents to me every 2 weeks, nearly 400 pages. Now, if you click on this link right here, it's going to take you to a bunch of redacted documents where they took out people's names and stuff like that, I guess to protect their privacy. But we need to know those names. This is why nobody ever goes to jail for doing something crazy with the government or obviously breaking the law, right? It says the reports are damning. They show that the inspector general's office, the inspector general has probed all sorts of allegations to the various humanitarian organization it funds, including bribery, child labor, sexual abuse of vulnerable children by notorious Catholic priests. Go figure. How many times have we seen this over the last 20, 30 years that some Catholic organization has a bunch of accusations that get swept under the rug? But regular, normal, I'm not going to say normal, but if you're outside of that scope of the Catholic Church, the way it seems, you can do whatever. I mean, you can't get away with nothing, matter of fact. All right, so here we go with the child sexual abuse. According to two internal USAID inspectors, general's reports, the agency investigated multiple cases involving the actual exploitation and abuse of children in Kenya and the Central African Republic. The instance of the abuse occurred over 2 decades at the charities awarded tens of millions of dollars in U.S. aid contracts. I want to say it's higher than that because when you look at some of the undisclosed contracts that were given out on usaspending.gov, I can believe it's much higher than that. This may be the only information they were privy to. So there you have it. All right, going back up. One case that stood out involved a prominent Catholic charity in the Central African Republic, Caritas Centrafrique, which had appointed it as its director, Father Luc Delft, a Belgian priest. Go figure. With a known history of pedophilia. A November 2019 CNN investigation documented Delft's abusive conduct at the charity and his previous child X crimes in Belgium. Okay. So they keep recycling these folks over and over instead of getting rid of them. It's not a good look. We're just now starting out. It's not a good look at all. All right, so let's see what we got here. Let me switch stream. But these are the things that people are defending. They want to go in here and jump on TV talking about all the good these charities are doing. But then on the back end, you're supposed to ignore all the evil things that's going on behind the scenes. Excuse me. In March of 2020, USAID opened an investigation after receiving a complaint alleging that Delft sexually abused children while receiving funds from USAID funded project. So essentially, we are paying PDF files to do what they do overseas. Jared Fogle the guy that used to be the face of Subway. This is crazy. He was pretty much doing the same thing. Salute to you, Tito. Salute to you, people unite. Yo, this is insane. I don't know how any of us missed this going into the election. This right here would have killed the campaign. The fact that they watch this is under their watch from 2020 in emails to FOI Files USAID spokesman said the organization contributed funds to Caritas Centrifuge for a humanitarian assistance project managed by the United Nations beginning in December 2019, a month after CNN investigation. All right. Spokesperson said they contributed financially to the charity via $300,000 in pooled UN funds. So not only did they get our money, they got the UN funds, etc. In addition to removing the former director, Delph installing a new leadership in response to this horrific misconduct, spokesman said. Caritas established new safeguarding policies, including background checks on directors, changes in retirement and recruitment. Sorry. The connection to USAID project has not been previously reported. I wonder why. And this is just a snippet of one of those redacted documents. Like, I'm gonna put this in the chat real quick. Let me see. I think I have that document. I had it pulled up earlier, but I'm gonna put it right here and I'm gonna pin it for everybody, so y'all can go and read it too. Come on. Salute that soul. Let me pop this in the chat real quick so the brothers can tear this damn thing apart. So not only are these people safeguarding pedos, they're spending money on foreign fighters. They're doing everything they can, but take care of our own folks. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And let me know once that pops up in the chat real quick. Let me see. Pull up a chat window, pin it to the stream. Like, it's wild to me. They don't want us probing into what they're doing because this is what they're doing. They don't want us talking about it. And like I said, for those of y'all just now coming in, this is the part of the stream I didn't get to yesterday because I ran out of time. Pin this one to this chat. Oh, still. All right, cool. But there's the article pinned in the chat. We go back. All right, let me jump down to here. And just like I said, you can click this link here and read the documents from where they start at page 264. So let me get this straight. One of the things I've seen people saying was that they were promoting all the good that this organization done, right? And to me, it's kind of hypocritical. Because growing up, we had basketball goals at the schools. And then one day they started taking all the basketball goals down. Their reasoning behind it was because of the drug activity at the basketball courts. Damn what we were doing as far as actually playing the sport, playing ball. They locked up football fields. They kept you off of them. Every time you showed up on a football field, you're playing two-hand touch, tackle, whatever. We got pushed off the fields when the cops showed up. We got pushed off the basketball courts. You know? Yeah, I'm definitely going to get to the spending part. We got pushed out of our own communities and doing something productive that would have kept a lot of black men out of jail and prison if they had something better to do than to get in trouble. Now, y'all don't want us to take down these organizations because of all the good they did, but what did y'all do for us? What did y'all do for us at home? You took away every avenue for us to do something productive, and y'all didn't give a damn. That's why we don't care about them taking down USAID, because y'all are spending millions. It costs nothing to keep a basketball rim up, to fund programs where we can play ball, after school programs, community centers. Virtually nothing compared to what y'all spent overseas. And then when you look at these folks and what they're spending the money on, facilitating pedophilia, this is crazy to me. Then in May 2023, the Inspector General referred the matter to a compliance division of USAID, the present responsibility determination, Caritas Centrifuge, and Delft. The referral was necessary, the IG said, since Caritas has impeded its earlier work, posing risk to vulnerable populations in future funding. You damn right. Y'all out here doing criminal activities on the US dime. This is probably the worst part of USAID. And it's not the only couple cases of humanitarian effort being used for these dark things, right? Yeah, for real. They took away our hoops, right? Like, they had no problem doing that. And I'm saying this because it's hypocritical. It's really hypocritical. You will take away the boys' hoops, where the only way a lot of us made it out of the hood was either go to college, play ball, rap, or act, right? Those were our avenues to make it out the hood. A lot of us ended up going the college route, which seems to be the easier way. A small number of us made it playing sports. A handful of us made it, acting. I mean, all brothers should be pissed about this. Y'all are willing to turn a blind eye to these folks doing garbage overseas, funding foreign fighters who are killing folks left and right. These pedos that's out here just using this money to house children, to move children around the world for their nefarious means. But when I was growing up, we lost our basketball goals. We ain't did nothing to nobody. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But because of drug activity, which is now nationwide in all communities, y'all took things away from young brothers that would have kept them out of trouble. So instead of letting them hoop and policing up the people around the area who were dealing with the drugs and stuff like that, y'all took it away. Took away any means of production that they could have had. Any positive thing that they had. And it pisses me off because I thought about that this morning. This is like one of the reasons I couldn't sleep last night, because I didn't get to this article. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all want to highlight the good that USAID has done, ignore the bad, but y'all couldn't do that for us on the way up. Y'all couldn't do it. And then something I said yesterday in the live stream yesterday was that y'all couldn't pay reparations, but you spending trillions of dollars overseas. If you add up everything that USAID has received, a good portion of that money could have paid reparations instead of paying for somebody's transgender surgery, funding these pedos overseas. That money would have been put to good use. And we're not asking a whole lot. I'm not sure what the number should be, but if, let's say, you peeled off $10 million per black person in this country, was this like 44 million of us or something like that? You're probably looking at, maybe, if my math is correct, $4 trillion. and it would have been done. Done. That money would have been spent inside the states, not funding these politicians and Epstein Island folks. All right, moving on. 3 months later, USAID Compliance Division formally declined to take action. Funny how that works. The Catholic dudes get off all the time. Let's skip down a little bit. Another investigation, USAID records centered on the case in Kenya, which was the subject of Washington Post investigation published last November. The documents obtained by FOIA, however, lay bare previously undisclosed additional details, the child abuse, and how USAID responded to it. Interesting. This happened in Kenya. Of course, they don't care. Of course, they don't care. Just like they probably don't care about what I'm saying right now. Now, I'll be honest, that losing our basketball goals, that part hurt. It got to the point where we were doing odds and ends stuff to buy like one of those portable ones that you put the water in the base, just so we had somewhere to play. We would go to parks where there were no signs that said you couldn't play ball in them. We couldn't do none of that. I remember like when we had when it came around Thanksgiving during football season, right? We would get up on Thanksgiving morning and all the kids in the neighborhood would go to whatever park we could. We would like line the field with whatever we had available, cones that we probably swiped from a parking lot, just to make a football field. Like, I'm from Baltimore. It got really rough. Worst case scenario, we played in the middle of the street, playing tackle on concrete, because we didn't have anything. So what do you do for young men who don't have anything? I remember listening to a couple of Sergeant Willie Pete's live streams where he was talking about you getting the black people you deserve. What do young men do? What do young men do when they have nothing? They turn to crime and criminal activity to get resources. What was that old saying go? Idle hands are the work of the devil. When you don't have anything for young men to do, what are we supposed to do? Yet y'all are wasting all this funding overseas. Now, my time is past as far as being a kid goes, obviously. I'm 42 years old. But what are y'all doing for the young people today? They keep talking about the young people don't have this, don't have that, but you're wasting money that could be used to help them. Remember when they said that trade school was too expensive to have in high schools? What about that? The people turning 18 today, going off to college, racking up a bunch of debt. What are they supposed to do? They can't get a job where there are more trade jobs, more blue collar jobs available now than there are jobs that require college education. See, I was lucky. A lot of the brothers around my age were lucky. The folks that went to the school I went to were lucky. We still had trades in school to where like you went and you learned the trade for like 2 years. Then the last 2 years of high school, you could either go to work as long as you fulfill the requirements to graduate, got all the classes and stuff out of the way in the first 2.5 years. You got to go to work the last 2 years of school, and part of your grades were your job. I think they call it Votech or something like that, if I remember correctly. So I was working, I took auto mechanics. So the last 2 years of high school, after lunch, I went to work. And that was part of my grade. My employer had to fill out a paperwork to tell them how I was doing, that I was making to work every day. I was cool. That's right, people unite. It is messed up. It is truly messed up. They've taken so much away from minorities, especially young black men, while they're wasting money so they can go over here and touch kids. So they can send condoms to Gaza. So they can deny reparations for black people, which they obviously could have paid a long time ago. So they can keep funding everybody else's food banks, send money overseas to fight foreign wars and to overturn governments. And they think we're stupid behind it. They really do. Let's see here. Let me pull this up. But this is the website I'm talking about. USAspending.gov. A simple search. All you got to do is use the keyword filter. Type in USAID and just wait. Come on. Sorry, I forgot to hit submit. Come on, damn it. Like the website's been buggy. I think a lot of people are on the website at the same damn time. And it's kind of bogging it down because there's so many people doing research on it and talking about what's going on. But the first thing I saw is the 14,154 contracts. This does not count all the NGOs that are tied to all the frivolous government spending that they found so far. 55,000. One of those we covered on I covered on this channel, and Machismo TV also covered it, talking about diverting hate, where they got $2 million to to put out a AI generated report talking about us in the manosphere. But seriously, so I'm gonna show you this one real quick. Let me see here. So when I first pulled this up, and you just watch me do it, right? Domestic awardees undisclosed. Using the simple powers of English, you see that domestic meaning people from here, companies from here, undisclosed. Why are they undisclosed? Is the problem I have. Like, why are these undisclosed? Why can't you tell us where this $194 million went? Undisclosed. Aside from that, foreign awardees undisclosed. Now the wheels should be turning. $150 million outlays, 149. Not sure exactly what outlays mean. It could mean that that's money left to give. Overseas contracts and more domestic undisclosed. Domestic undisclosed. You're gonna see IBM got a contract in here, which is fine. I'm pretty sure they're giving out computers and PCs to people who are impoverished. We're gonna see Chemonics. If I'm not mistaken, these are people, a pharmaceutical company. This is a pharmaceutical company, right? Haven't we had an issue with pharmaceuticals? Yeah. I just saw your comment, common sense. Yeah. If you go back in the stream, I was going through the article. I didn't read the whole thing because like it's getting sadder and sadder the more you read through it. But if you go through that article, which is pinned in the chat, it's talking about how they funded these individuals who got caught doing pedophilia and using these humanitarian efforts to move children around and stuff like that. There's been several reports. There's a 400-page document inside of that article that you can look at the redacted reports and they didn't do shit about it. And you wonder why that inspector general got fired. But then what we're looking at right now is USAID. Some of the people that they funded, 1.8 billion. This is for like maybe vaccines, medical care overseas, and we already had a tough time with the pharmaceutical companies due to the pandemic, right? So 1.8 billion dollars is what they got from 303 transactions. Then you give the identifiers. You can click on these different icons here, and it will tell you what this means. Go back. Oh, close that out. So yeah, you can start there and start doing some research. But what's important to note here is you see where they've been receiving a minute amount of funding from 2008. Then you see all the way to 2015 and start spiking up. Now, 2016, President Obama was in office, right? President Obama was in office. Okay. And we're starting to see a spike. Well, about 2016, let's see, 2020. No, that was Trump. Up to 2016. And then it spiked. And then it kept going up. And then between 2020, it took a huge jump, the biggest jump it's gotten, all the way to 2024. And now you reach 2025 where all this stuff is being shut down, right? So $1.8 billion over the course of 17 years. That's a lot of damn money. A lot of damn money. And these contracts are being canceled as we speak with the Doge team. And then you can go through here, click on some of these icons, and it will tell you what these codes mean. Just like you can pull up the glossary, and it'll tell you. Also, what countries that money was spent in: Kenya, Ukraine. So they're pooling money all over the place. Like, it's insane. This is what they don't want y'all to see. Most things involving our government you can find online. From what laws your favorite politician voted on, your hated politician voted on, you could find all that information. And this is what they don't want people talking about, because for a lot of it, it's been hidden. But the mainstream media is not going to cover this. Yeah, for real. A lot of people are going to go to jail. There are laws against having interest in certain contracts. We had, when I was in the Army, we had colonels, we had generals go to jail for awarding contracts, and they were getting kickbacks. One colonel got caught with 600 grand under his couch. He received millions from awarding contracts during the time we were going back and forth to Iraq. Because remember, there were several companies vying for the right to produce certain materials for us, like, body armor, special flashlights, shit like paper clips. Like, simple as paper clips. There was a contract for shipping sand from Kuwait to Iraq. Now, if you know anything about Iraq, Iraq is full of fucking sand. So why do you need a contract shipping sand from Kuwait to Iraq? A good reference to look at is Iraq for Sale. If you ever seen that documentary, it used to be on Netflix. And I don't know where you can find it now, because I tried to look it up the other day. I couldn't find it. Maybe I typed it in wrong. I was kind of half asleep trying to do it. But when you go to look at Iraq for Sale and they talk about all the ridiculous, crazy contracts that they were handing out, it makes sense how USAID was able to get away with this stuff. In a war zone, nobody's paying attention. You need the stuff right now. They need to get the troops, better equipment, protect them, this, that, and third. So it was a panic mode. So underneath all of that, when it comes to regular contracts, it may be a little simpler to slide things through. Not a whole lot of visibility. Yeah, for real. Sports golf, why is count so solid? Yeah, man, that dude went to jail for it. Him and his wife went to jail. I don't remember what the contracts were for, but yeah, they went to jail for that. Like you can a simple Google search on some of these high ranking folks, like people who've gone to jail for fraud in the military. You'll find them all over the place. Like I know it because I was in at the time and they was giving us briefings on like every year you gotta do briefings on what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do with information. And they'll give you all these people that went to jail for selling secrets. Like you had one dude while I was in, he went to jail for selling a damn manual for the Abrams tank to folks overseas, not knowing he was talking to an FBI agent. Wild, right? I mean, some people are hard up for money. That's why, your security clearances should be taken seriously. But yeah, you got 14,000 results, 154 results. And if you wanted to, you can click on each one of these companies and do some research into each company on this first page. Look at what they were awarded. You can also sort this by, I don't know why it's not going all the way up, but you can sort this by the money awarded, which is probably the way I would do it. So you got this company right here, DAI Global. Let's click on this one. I didn't do any research in that one. Total award amount. That's just for this contract, by the way. That other company, that was multiple. It was 300 something contracts for Chemonics. So totally, they got $1.8 billion. But this is just for one from this their singular contract. This is probably their latest award. And here we go. Between 2020 and 2024, it peaked. And who was that under? That was under Joe Biden's watch. You damn right. I just watched that clip from Machismo TV earlier today when he was talking about that confirmation hearing when he was talking about shit. I'm drawing a blank now. But really pushing back against these Democratic folks that was questioning him. And I hope that when he gets in office, he does the job he says he's going to do. Because there's no way they can keep hiding this. Money always leaves a trail. It's like what Detective Freeman said in The Wire. You follow the money, you don't know where the fuck you're going to end up. And in these results, like you see, it says minority owned business. Interesting. I wonder what kind of minority it is. But in some of these, right now I'm using my iPad, but when you're using the PC, it gives you a little bit more information. So you can click around to see exactly what they're spending some of the money on. I'm surprised he even said minority owned business. Wonder what kind of minority that is. I know it ain't. It can't be black folks. I know it can't be. I don't think it is. Agency for International Development is the funding agency. Sometimes you'll get sections where in this section you'll see DHS and a bunch of different organizations that contribute to this contract. And they do a lot of little funny money games where they moving money around. This funding comes from here, this funding comes from there. So you can't totally pin down where all the money is coming from. But I'm pretty sure when Elon Musk is done, we're going to get a huge report. And I hope they make it public right off the bat to where we can go through and start really tearing it apart. All right. So again, the codes, product service codes. You probably got to go to glossary to figure out where it's at. But they never really explain some of these other subcategories like US states and territories, where and why this is even here. Oh gee. But yeah. Do your research, fellas. Do your research. But yeah, I just wanted to pop up and put this out there and just get that off my chest before it killed me. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you. This is Common Sense for stopping by. Saul, Machismo TV, People Unite. Who else came through? Let's see who else came through. Tito, thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching all your streams. Everybody that I really fuck with like that, I've been watching y'all streams. You know, a lot of your watch time is all me. I'm gonna say that now. That's all me. I got like 2 or 3 different devices. I run them and I'm sitting there. I got like 6 screens in here. I just keep them up and running and I'm listening. I'm listening, taking in the advice, taking in and learning a lot from you guys, man. But anyway, I got to get out of here. Wife is back. We got some stuff to do today. But yeah, I just had to get it off my. Appreciate y'all for coming through. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.